The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you for calling. How you doing, MYM Insiders? This is Rich, and we are here for our Tuesday morning ad clinic, and kind of a light submission day. So if anybody has something they still feel like they need to submit, you may want to go ahead and do that. I see a suggestion here from Joe. It says make it so you can hear audio from the computer without having to dial in on a telephone. I believe you can do that anyway. It makes it real iffy on the you talking to me part, but if you're just trying to listen, I believe that should be available anyway. You may want to call over to Judy Schaefer and troubleshoot that. But Joe, I believe that that is something that is currently available. Well, with that, and thank you for that comment. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to Chase, who has submitted several postcards for today's review. So I'm going to unmute you, Chase. Hey, Chase, how you doing?
Hey, Rich. Good. Good morning.
So what's up today?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, I've got a few postcards. Last time we talked about the postcard was a question, and it made you turn, it was like, what is this is promoting eyelash extensions in the salon. And we talked about making it a little bit more direct on the front side of the postcard. So I put together 4 different headlines and subheadlines for the front to go with the back that we already had, and just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on power and which ones you think work best and where I can be a little bit better.
Okay, do these all have the same back? I did see that there was a back, but is it just one for all 4? Or are these just alternate versions?
Yeah, they're just alternate versions of the front. The backs, right now is the same.
Okay.
I think it kind of fits them all.
Okay. Well, let's take a look then. By way of review, last time you submitted these, can you help me remember? They weren't direct, but can you tell me what they said?
Yeah, here, hang on a second. I've got it right here. Trying to remember. Okay, it said, no, deleted that one. Oh, it said, what is the secret to Hollywood-style lashes? And then it, like, I can't remember the subheadline, but it kind of made you want to turn the postcard over, and you said, let's just go ahead and be, straight to the point on the front. Here's the secret to Hollywood-style lashes, and that's one of the ones that I sent you. It's like the 4th one, I think.
Okay, that's right. I was just seeing if I could pull it up, and as you may have seen, I pulled up the wrong thing. Okay, so Hollywood lashes, and we talked about some of the situation surrounding this. Number one, it's relatively new. A lot of people know about it, but there's still quite a few that either have maybe heard about it but don't really know what it is, or maybe you haven't even heard of it at all. So we want to hit that benefits of ownership issue probably more than the vendor selection. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Are you sick and tired of putting on mascara every day? Get a set of eyelash extensions from Beleza and never put on mascara again. It's straight and to the point. If somebody is already familiar with this, then they might look at it and say, okay, well, I wonder how much they charge, or they may have some sort of objection to ownership that we may want to also think through. We'll address that in just a second. Let's look at the other versions here, okay? Are your lashes short and you hate it? That seems a little clunky in the way that it's articulated. Are your lashes short and you hate it? It just doesn't seem like it, grammatically speaking, flows well. There's now a very simple solution. By the way, 3 dots is an ellipsis, it's not 2. There is now a very simple solution, eyelash extensions from Beleza. One of the words that we had thrown around last time was the word permanent. Is that still in play?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're semi-permanent, yeah. Yes, permanent. Okay,
well, they're permanent until they fall out, right?
Right, exactly.
It might be interesting to use the word permanent, even though it's not necessarily 100% true. I don't know how you feel about that. I'll let you decide that, but I do like the word.
Mm-hmm.
Are your lashes short and you hate it? I might just be a little more plain Englishy on that and say something like, do you hate your short lashes? If they don't have short lashes, then they're going to not respond to that appeal anyway.
Right.
So let's take a look at the next one. Have you ever wanted Hollywood-style lashes? Now possible with eyelash extensions from Beleza. Have you ever wanted Hollywood-style? By the way, between Hollywood and style, we need a hyphen.
Okay.
Secret to her Hollywood-style, Hollywood again, hyphen Hollywood-style lashes is simple. Extensions from Beleza. Let's take a look on the back, and then we'll come back and comment on the entire body of work. That's right, no mascara, no hassles, just gorgeous Hollywood-style lashes. It seems like that's right, needs a colon after it instead of a period. That's right. No mascara, no hassles, just gorgeous Hollywood-style lashes. Eyelash extensions adhere to your natural lashes and are permanent. Our professionally trained lash stylists attach. Man, it's like a tongue twister. Attach one lash at a time to your natural lashes. They are permanently attached and won't fall off. You can swim, shower, exercise, do anything else that you normally do, and they will stay in place. Mascara look or Diva look. Is that you or is that somebody else? Because if it's you, then
That's me, so let me turn it off.
Okay. If it's somebody else, then I can see if there's a muting issue that needs to be dealt with. Okay, so mascara look or full diva look, our deluxe package, my initial response to that is you can have nice full lashes or you can have the really huge lashes. Is that what that means?
Right.
Okay, just want to make sure that I understand it correct at a glance without having to read. Okay, yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward. Let's go back and address something that I brought up earlier, which is if somebody has an understanding of what this is, what would be their major objections to ownership of it?
Cost. Probably about whether or not they'll actually stay on. A lot of the ones in the past haven't really adhered very well, and if you don't do it correctly, they won't stay on.
What's the secret? Technique or glue?
It's
Improvement.
a little bit of both, because we've had that issue with one of our new lash stylists. You know, at first she was trying to get it attached the right way, and then they would fall off too quickly. Once you get the technique down, then they adhere and they stay on. So it is a little bit of glue, the glue issue too. Some glues don't work as well as others.
Okay. Tell me about the cost. How much does it cost to get this done?
The standard price is $250 for your set, and then it's $60 every other week for a fill.
And can I assume that you come in as often as you feel necessary for the fill, although you might start looking a little weird if you don't? Is that probably true? Right.
It starts to fall out a little faster, and if you wait, the longer you wait, the more expensive it is because there's more to fill. So if you come in every month, then it's like $90, and then if you wait 2 months, then we basically have to start over, and it's going to cost you almost a full set. So
how long does it last? If you did a full set on somebody today, and they never came back, how long would it take before it wore off and they fell out?
You lose, I forget exactly how many lashes a week. It's something like 30 a week, and you have a couple hundred, so it'd last you, probably 8 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Now, this may be important to explain to people that it's not that the new lash is falling off. It's that your normal lash is falling off, right?
Right.
I think that's important because somehow that, to me, that makes the whole process of you having to come back and pay more money more legitimate. Like, hey, it's not our fault your stupid eyelashes are falling out.
Right.
And I don't know if that would be necessarily understood without bringing that up. I'm not saying, hey, let's make a major headline on that topic, but it may be worth bringing up somewhere in there.
Right, and I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and you may even want, I don't know, $250. Tell me about the ladies that come into the salon, and when you tell them it's $250, give me the range of reactions. I can anticipate some people think it's expensive, others whatever. Even those that think it is expensive, do they think it's way expensive or kind of expensive? What are you seeing typically among your clientele?
Yeah, initially I was shocked. I thought it was a lot. I thought that was kind of high, and that's just for your normal. If you're gonna do the full Devo type, where you're putting one on every single eyelash, it costs almost $400. So, yeah, it's just the amount of time and effort that goes into it, and the range of once people understand exactly what they're getting, we get a pretty good response from it once they think about it and they see the results and all that. But yeah, I think if you don't know what it is and what it does, I think at first you definitely are a little bit taken back by the price. So the people that I had somebody call in the other day. We've got a couple of different promotions out there via our website and just different little things. And so my manager, she was kind of fishing around to see where she had heard about us and what kind of deal, and she hadn't, none of the above. She just heard from a friend, and it was $250, and she was fine with it. It was no, she expected that. So that's kind of what most people are charging.
How long does it take to do it?
So it's about a 3-hour service, the first one.
Okay, so
if you do the basic.
Okay, so they're going to feel like they're getting their money's worth. It's just a matter of, do they value that look and that convenience to that extent?
Right.
I mean, I don't imagine anyone gets done and says, well, geez, that went fast, and I can't believe I paid that much money for this.
Right, yeah. No, yes, I think they get done and they look at themselves in the mirror and they feel like they definitely have transformed their look. So that they've gotten something for it, whether or not they think it's $250 worth.
You just said something that was interesting. I like that phrase, transform your look. What if you had a headline that was something like, totally transform your look without having to put on mascara, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like, that was just a quick little throw-out thing there, so take and run with that however you want. But I'm almost interested in putting a little FAQ on the back of this postcard.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that people understand. Let's look at the current back. That's right, no mascara, no hassle, just gorgeous Hollywood-style lashes. It adheres to natural lashes. They're permanent. So let's just make a list of what some of the FAQs might be, certainly on a website, but maybe on here even. FAQ number 1, I'm not trying to put these in order. This is the order I'm thinking them up. So how does it work? And you kind of answer that here. How does it work? How long does it take? How much does it cost? Why do I have to come back for refills?
Mm-hmm.
It's just some of the basic ones.
Right.
I just kind of like being able to say, look, here's what you need to know. Now, part of this, though, is you may say, I don't know if I want to really get too far into the costs on the postcard. Maybe I want them to come in so I can try to sell them. But I think you're already shooting yourself in the foot in that regard. Not saying it's a negative thing, but if you were trying to get them into the salon so you could kind of talk to them so they don't decide before they even talk to you, hey, it's too expensive. I mean, when we say it's $150 off, a full set of lashes is a little $99 for a full set of lashes. If you are after the first 10, you'll still receive $50 off a full set. So what are you saying? Instead of $250, you'll do it for $99?
Right, for 10. Well, that's kind of where I started, and I don't know if that's the right offer. But, yeah, that's kind of what we were going to offer for the first 10 people that do it. Kind of one of those, an urgency sort of feel to it, and I've got kind of a new person who needs to build their business. So,
are you willing to do it for $99?
Mm-hmm. For the first 10, but not all the time.
Okay. Well, why don't you say that a little more clearly then? $99 introductory offer. Here's the reality. It'd be interesting to see how this works over the course of time. Okay, so right now I'm just talking. We're not writing marketing. Here's what I'm interested to know. How many people come in for the twice-a-month refills versus try to lengthen it out or just blow it off? Do you have a feel for that?
Sorry, I don't know why that keeps going off. Do I have a feel for it? No, I don't.
Do you have a guess for what it might be?
I would say, once I'd say it's probably 60 come in on a regular basis, 60%.
40% just quit or come in sporadically?
Yeah, I'd say 40% try and push it off or come in not on a routine.
You think it's because of money or because of time, typically?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay. I'm just wondering, I mean, you can probably anticipate where I'm thinking with this. I wonder if, if somebody came in twice a month for a year, that's $120 times 12 months is $1,440. I'm wondering if you could almost sell this as a membership.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we're thinking about doing.
Okay, so you come in and you say, look, it's $99 a month. Normally it's $250 up front and $120 a month, but we'll do it for you for $99 a month. We'll fill up to 2 times per month. Or maybe even you do it even cheaper, maybe $79 a month, knowing that you're going to have some drop-off and accounting for it in your pricing. Because one thing one thing you risk with the $99 a month is you get the gal who comes in only once, and then she starts feeling, bad about her investment because she just couldn't make it over there, didn't fit her schedule, whatever. She looks up 2 months later, she's not using it as much as she should, and she's actually paying more, right? I'm a little bit worried about that person. What do you think?
Gotcha. Yeah. So you think at 99 she's going to, after a couple of months, she's going to feel like because it's normally would normally be 120 a month.
Well,
right.
Again, I'm not trying to draw any conclusions. I'm just thinking out loud some things we've got to address. One of them is the gal who gets on the $99 a month plan because she goes, hey, this is a good deal, right?
Right.
But then she ends up only coming in once a month because it just gets away from her.
I gotcha. Okay.
And now, even though she intended to come in twice a month, she's only come in once or maybe even zero, and she comes to you and says, hey, I couldn't come in. Oh, hey, I'm going to be on vacation all of July. I need you to stop my payment. And you're like, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
gotcha.
I don't know. If you let's run a few numbers here. If it's $250 up front and 120 times 11, it's $1,570 a year if somebody did it the full-blown right way. You with me? 11 months at 120 plus
250.
Well, they would technically need another 60 because they would need 11 and a half months, wouldn't they?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me add $60 to that. So $1,630. Now, I'm going to assume if you could get people to pay you regularly that you'd be willing to take a pretty good haircut on that simply because you'd have the consistent cash flow coming in, right?
Right.
So what if you priced it at, let's see.
All right, so if we divide that by 12, we're at $135 a month.
Yeah, what if you significantly reduced it and said, we'll do it for, 90, we'll do it for
I like that 79 a month, yeah.
Well, if you did it for $89 a month, then you've got $1,068. So basically you could say, look, it's $99, and that's what you could advertise, $99. Then when people call, say, wow, or come in, hey, $99, this is fantastic. I see it's $250 at other places. You say, well, it's $250 for us too, and it's $120 a month for maintenance or fill or whatever you call it. However, if you get on our luxurious lash program or Hollywood lash program, whatever you want to call it, it's $89 a month, including the first month. But it is on. It's kind of like a health club where it's a membership and you can't quit. Understand, we're going to be doing a lot of this work up front, and we're going to be losing money. But as long as you're willing to commit for the whole year, You can come in up to 2 times a month, and sometimes you might miss a month, and sometimes, you know, you might even come in extra if you got something. That's okay, but it averages out to $89 a month.
Yeah, I like that. I hadn't considered that type of the membership there, where you include the. I always thought, you know, you pay a little bit more up front, and then every month your fills would be on a membership. But I like this idea.
Well, here's what I like. I like being able to lower the front end resistance, because $250 is a lot of money. You know, let's think about who's going to be buying this really. Okay, who's really going to be buying this? I mean, you're going to have some of all kinds of people. I get that. But if we were to look at the sweet spot, it's probably going to be gals that are in their early to late 20s, maybe early to mid-30s even, that are kind of on the scene. I mean, you're going to sell it less to the 47-year-old mother of 2 high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know. Maybe there's some you know, affluence in the area, and some of those more affluent women, even though they're 47 and have 2 high school kids, still would want it. I don't know.
We do have a lot of that in our area, but yeah, I think there's certainly a broader appeal there with the demographic you mentioned.
Yeah, so let's call it, you know, 22 to 33 or something like that as your sweet spot. And these are gals that are probably making, on average, you know, $30,000 to $50,000 a year, and they probably have, you know, $250 is a lot of money. That's all I'm trying to get at. But they have money to spend on themselves, and they do spend it on themselves. I'm just wondering if we could also lower the blow of, hey, it's going to be $120 a month. And then they start going, oh, geez, well, maybe I won't come in as much or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about and to look at. You know, maybe this issue here, if the biggest objection to ownership is price, well, it's going to cost money no matter what. So if people want it for free for very, very little, then, you know, go get your mascara and good luck. That's your option. But if we can minimize the payments as much as possible, that might serve you well.
Yeah, I like it.
And did you say it takes about an hour to do the fill-ins every 2 weeks?
Right, about an hour.
Okay, so is this something that your employee is going to do, or is this something that lessees of your salon are going to be doing?
No, they're employees.
Okay, so to help me understand the financial ramifications of this, if somebody comes in to get a fill, how much are you going to pay your person to do that fill?
Well, right now it's a split of about 50-50 or 60-40, depending on where they are in their deal.
60 to you or 60 to them?
60 to me.
Okay, so 50-50 is kind of your worst case scenario, right?
Right.
So basically, if you get $89 for the month, and you divide that by 2, and you give 44 to them, and it's 2 times, they're going to make $22 roughly. Is that something that they feel is worth their time?
Yeah, I think so. 22 plus tip. And they usually, you know, get a decent tip on these. So
$30 maybe.
Yeah, something $40, somewhere in there.
Okay. To me, that sounds like a good amount of money for the person that's doing it. It doesn't sound like they're going, oh my gosh, I'm getting minimum wage here.
Right, exactly.
And the key thing here is consistency.
No, that's a good number.
I mean, I'd rather make $30 twice a month than $40 once a month. Wouldn't you?
Right, and then not know what you're getting when you're getting it. This is a regular deal. They're getting paid every month. So.
Yeah, not trying to beat this to death, but you know, we've got relatively few submissions today. So we've got time. But I'm just wondering if you go that route, if that doesn't that may become the main thing you want to talk about. So we've got these postcards on here, and you know, maybe we come in with the approach of the affordable way to have, you know, what's the industry word for this service?
Um,
Extensions?
I eyelash extensions, yeah. That. Been trying to come up with something else to say, but that's pretty much it.
Well, and I want to make sure we say things that people recognize and go, oh, I know what that is. So if we came in here and said something like, eyelash extensions, finally made affordable, and let's come up with derivatives of that, but you get the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
That might be interesting. So let's say that there's a gal out there who fits your demographic who is aware of this. And by the way, last time this came up, I asked my wife, I said, so do you know anything about this? She goes, oh, yeah. She said, oh, yeah, as if it was as common as hair coloring or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, okay, well, maybe, it's just a one-person sample. But I'm wondering if maybe it is a little more well-known, but it just seems expensive and, too much to want to spend. If we came out and said, hey, it's an affordable way to get this done, normally it's $250 up front. You're going to need fill typically twice a month. One of the problems, though, is that people don't want to pay for it up front. It's too expensive, or they don't want to come in twice a month for fill because it's just too expensive. And so we've eliminated all of that. Our program, instead of being $250 up front and $120 a month, is just a flat $89 a month, asterisk with contract, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think, yeah.
You can maybe even put them on a 6-month contract to make it a little easier.
Right. Okay, so 6 or 12 months.
Well, and maybe it's $99 for 6-month contract and $89 for the other one, or whatever. I don't know. I'm just
right. A price
thinking of
difference
stuff.
To give them. Sure. Yeah. What was your wife? What was her thoughts of them? Why didn't she have them? What was her objection?
Well, I think she fits more into the has 6 kids and not really that concerned about having eyelashes that look like a diva.
Yeah, and there's no matter what postcard we send her, it's not going to make a difference. Right?
Correct. I mean, she would wear mascara, usually, but it's not something that's high on her radar of. I mean, I hope she's not, trying to attract the next man.
Well, I think, I definitely think that this is kind of it's definitely a new thing. I think a lot of women who are, as long as they're reading magazines or, engaged in the world in any way, they know about it. And they're not getting it for various reasons, and probably the biggest one is price and having to come in, the maintenance of them.
Here's what I would do. I would grab some of the gals that come into your salon for whatever other services. I'd say, hey, let me ask you some questions about this. We've got this thing called eyelash extensions, and I'm just trying to get a feel for some things. Do you have a second to answer? Can I ask you a couple questions? And, of course, they'll say yes. Some might say no, but who cares? Say, do you know what it is? Have you heard about it? Here's what I want to know. Write this down. First of all, ask them, do you know about it? If they do know about it, say, well, how did you find out about it? And they'll probably say something like, a friend told me, or I saw it in a magazine, or I saw it on Pinterest, or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you know about it? And if so, how did you find out about it? How much do you think it costs? Before you tell them anything.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you think you have to get it? Because here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out what their current thought process is before you introduce new information, because that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think it costs? How often do you think you have to come back to get it filled in? How much do you think that costs? And then here's the next question, and ask it exactly this way. This is an important way to ask a question. If you could get it done and it was absolutely free, how interested would you be in getting this done? Would you be all over that, or you're just not that interested in getting it? Now, what we're trying to look for here is how much they want this service.
Mm-hmm.
So if we took away the objection of price, do you want it or not? So if, for instance, if you ask my wife, well, if it was free, would you want this or would you not want it? She'd probably say something like, well, I guess it was free. And you just heard an entire, you know, you heard a lot in that one phrase, right?
Right.
Well, I guess if it was free, I would get it, which is a lot different than, oh my gosh, yes, I would get it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to be a little subtle in asking that question and interpreting those answers. And then say, have you looked at getting it before? And by the way, Chase, this can all be done really, really conversationally. It doesn't have to be like question number 4.
Right.
You know, if you can just kind of memorize these questions and just ask some ladies, I'd be real curious to know. You know, have you considered this before? Have you looked at it? How much does it cost? Do you feel like cost is a major objection? And then get through those questions and say, well, here, let me ask you this. Here's what we're thinking about doing. We normally sell it for $250 and $60 per session to come in and fill. You know, what do you think about that? Oh, that seems expensive. Okay. What we're thinking about doing is selling it for just $89 a month, and that includes the front end initial visit, and it includes up to 2 monthly fills, and it's just $89. If it was like that, does that seem easier to afford? Does that seem like something you would want? Now, here's what you might find. You might find people say, well, I just didn't know about it. Or you might find people say, well, I just really don't want it no matter what. You know, if it's free, I guess maybe I get it, but, you know, I'm really not that interested in it. And you might find people that say, yeah, it's just too expensive, and then you can get their opinion on that. So I would just ask. I mean, the great thing about this situation is you got lots of ladies just wandering through your salon every day that you can just say, hey, do you have a second? I'll ask you a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be the, hey, fill out this questionnaire on this phone number on the back of the receipt, and you might win a $5 gift card. It's just, hey, would you mind if I ask you a couple questions about lashes? We're trying to do something, and just interested in what you think.
Right. Get some real actual feedback. Do you think like an online survey in addition to this would be a good idea, or just?
No, I would grab 5 ladies today, 5 ladies tomorrow, 5 the next day. I'd grab 5 a day for a week. You'll find out real quick what the trend is.
Okay. Okay.
And I would do it. Okay. Here's what you don't want to do. Hey, I'd like to take a survey. Do you have a minute to take a survey? That's not how you approach it. You say, hey, do you have just a minute? We've got this new service of eyelash extensions, and I just wanted to get some of our customers' take on this service. Do you have a second? I could ask you just a couple of questions? And notice how I'm really downplaying it, right? Do you have just a couple seconds? I could ask you a few quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that in their mind, okay, it's no big deal. And I'm trying to let them know with my words, this is no big deal. I just want to ask you some questions. Do you know what this is? See, I'm not even in your business, and I didn't even write down the questions I just gave you, but to me they just flow. Do you know do you know what this service is? Have you ever heard of this before? Oh, really? So how did you find out about it? Is it a magazine, your friends? Oh, Facebook? Okay, great. Do you know any other ladies that have it? What do you think about it? Is it something that you're interested in? If it was absolutely free and it didn't cost anything, would you be all over it, or you'd be like, well, you know, maybe if it's free? I mean, how interested are you in this? How much do you think it costs? Do you have any feel? Have you looked at it before? Have you heard anybody talk about it? Okay. Did you know that once you get it, you have to come back in and get it filled in, because while the eyelashes do adhere to your natural eyelashes fall out. You tend to lose about 30 a week, so it does have to be continually replenished. Did you know that? Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? In our business, what we're thinking about doing is our normal price is $250. It takes about 3 hours because we got to do all the lashes. If you want Diva lashes, it's a little bit more. And typically, you need to come in for about an hour twice a month and to get the refills, and that's $60. It's about $120 a month. So what do you think about those prices? Does that sound expensive to you? Does that sound reasonable to you? Does that sound something you'd be willing to spend or not? Hey, don't worry. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm really just trying to get a feel for it. So now, let me ask you this. This is really what I wanted to ask you, is because we're about to try a few things with the pricing. And one of the things that we found, kind of like you just said, is some people seem to think it's pretty expensive up front. So, you know, one of the things we thought we might try is kind of making it a monthly thing where you pay $89 a month or maybe $99 a month, something like that. That includes the front-end fill, that 3-hour thing that normally is $250, so you don't have to pay all that up front. And then every month you can come in up to twice, and it's just $89 a month. We bill your credit card. It's automatic. And does that seem better to you? Does that sound like something that would be more appealing? Does that take away the sting of the price a little bit? So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now here's okay. So take that conversation and let's go. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you want to get stupid for a minute? I do. Why couldn't you take that concept and just extend it to your whole salon? Now, here's what I'm not telling you to do. Hey, Chase, take that concept and extend it to your whole salon. I'm saying, let's just think about it, because it might be fun to think about for a minute. So what are the top things that people typically come in for? Well, they come in for color and for cuts and for nails and for eyelashes and, I don't know, you know the other things, facials. I don't know what you do, but you know what you do.
Makeup, facial, yeah, tanning.
Tanning. So what if you said, hey, we're going to start selling memberships, and you can get in on different levels of membership depending on how often you'd like to come in. But the way it works is we're going to bill your credit card every month for $199, and for that $199, you're going to get $289 at retail as long as you get on the monthly deal with us. Now, here's how that works. So for $199 a month, you get $300 worth of credit, and you can shop right off of our normal list, paying the prices. And essentially, we're giving you a 25% discount, or the numbers aren't important. It's important that you work out the numbers and that they work, but for the example, the numbers are not important. What's important is that they get a discount if they come in every month, and what you're trying to do is encourage people to just come in more frequently.
Right.
Because I think one of the biggest problems people have is it's an easy thing to put off if money's a little tight, and it's an easy thing to put off if time's a little tight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times do ladies come in and go, oh, man, I've needed to get my hair colored for a month now, and I just haven't had time to come in.
Right.
Well,
exactly right.
That's all fine and dandy, except for you just missed, you know, if the lady should come in, I don't know what the numbers are, so forgive these inaccuracies, but the point will be accurate. If she should come in every 6 weeks, that's basically 8.5 times a year, but if she stretches it to 8 weeks, she's only coming in 6.5 times a year, so you just lost 2 times worth of business that you should have been getting.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, your stylists are not getting the tips, and you're not having the opportunity to potentially get other upsells, et cetera.
Right.
So I'm wondering if there could be, you know, I talked about this on one of the innovation webinars last week. I don't know if you're on it, but we talked about stealing ideas from other industries, and this is what I call the Netflix idea, right? So you pay Netflix X dollars per month, and you can have as many DVDs out at a time, or 2 out at a time, or 1 out at a time, or you can have unlimited streaming. And the beauty of that model for Netflix is they get an absolute certain cash flow every month. They know how many people are going to be paying. And then they start to learn what their user rates are, so they start to learn how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, just something to think about. Don't jump into that and start offering it tomorrow. I mean, that's something that would require quite a bit of thought and planning, and you know, take it to the
right. No, we've been
I don't know.
Definitely. No, we've been thinking about that quite a bit. We already offer a membership for massage, and we offer one for tanning. and we were going to offer one for eyelashes, but hadn't really figured it out just yet. You know what we wanted to do for that. But
what about just an all-access pass?
Yeah, I think just bundle it all together.
Well, I think
we're
it would.
We're adding two hairstyles. We just added a new chair. We kind of remodeled and added another chair, and in that chair we were going to put in 2 employees instead of a booth renter, so we can even bundle in hair services and do the whole thing. So I think that.
Yeah, because I know that this does present a problem for you in terms of how you pay your people, because it's real simple. If they come in and give you $50, you turn around and hand them $25. But if they give you $199, then how do you figure out who gets how much later? You know, and do you have to say, oh, well, they came in 3 times for these 3 things, and so you get this much, and so forth. So that becomes a pain. But I don't know. It seems like an interesting concept.
Yeah, definitely. It's something nobody else is doing either, and I think it hits to that point. You're right. It's the loyalty and the frequency. You can build that. You know, you can kind of get them. If you get them signed up for this deal and you do a good job with it, obviously, then you know you've got a customer that's a good customer that's coming in frequently and spending more with you.
The reality is you have access. Don't say this to anybody else because they'll get mad, but it's true. You have access to cheap labor. And you have access to labor that will work for basically whatever you want to give them. And I don't say that in a negative way. I say that in a hey, I'll give you $22 to do this hour fill. Will you do it? And they're going to say yes, even though they would wish it was $35 or whatever.
Right.
So you've got access to labor that can be kind of flexed around a little bit. So I might look into that, and you could give different kinds of discounts. So you could say, look, this package right here is $99 a month. Just work out the number. So it's $99 a month, and for 12 months that's $1,188, but we're going to give you $1,500 worth of services. And so that is $312 savings, which is 21% or something like that. So you can work all those numbers out to whatever makes sense. Then you can say, look, and if you want to pay it in advance, we'll give you even a bigger discount. Not that many people would, but some might. You never know.
Right.
I'm just, in the vein of the innovation formula, Grand Theft Inno, and stealing from other industries. I'm thinking about the chiropractor that I go to. I went to him last year, and then my son, I've been taking him this last few weeks. And the way they do it is they say, okay, your back is hurt, and their biggest enemy, they know, is me going home and going, well, it feels better. Yeah, it still kind of hurts, but yeah, I don't really want to give the guy 35 more bucks, so I'll just stay home this time, and if it gets worse, then I'll go back. That's their biggest enemy. So what they do is they come in there and they say, look, based on your injury and what your situation is, you're going to need a treatment plan of 6 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever is appropriate. And, of course, we as people with hurt backs have no idea if that's right or wrong, so we just kind of go with it. And they say, okay, if you've got insurance, it's going to be this much. If you don't have insurance, it's going to be this much. But either way, we'll give you a discount if you pay it all up front, or if you need a payment plan, it'll work like this. And the payment discount is fairly significant because they know, hey, we'd rather get the money up front. And they're kind of like you. That chiropractor knows that he's got, him personally, he's got probably, what does he have? He probably has 8 to 10 minutes to invest in each guy that he has to actually adjust.
Right.
So he looks at it and says, well, if the guy comes in a lot, I don't really care. And my office staff is already paid for no matter what, so if people come in more often, I don't really care. Now, he did one other thing that was interesting, I thought, lately, that you might want to take notice of. Okay, here's what it is. He used to have 2 massage therapists, and I noticed that he got rid of one of his massage therapists, still has one, but he replaced her with a massage bed. You know what this thing is? It's like a hydro thing.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you lay on it, and it's warm, and you can adjust it, and it's got a TV screen, so you can like watch stuff while you're getting your massage. And I thought, this is really genius of this guy, because now he has the sunk cost. I'm sure he's got it on monthly payments, so it's costing him $500 a month. I think I asked him because I'm a marketing guy and I always need to know stuff. I think he said it's about 20 grand to buy it. But it's got a sunk fixed cost, so now he can use that thing as a giveaway, and it doesn't cost him anything because it's already sunk. So, for instance, when I took my son in last week, him being a good marketer, and he is a very good marketer, by the way, he sends me in the mail the next week a little certificate. I happen to be holding it in my hands right now. It's printed out on regular crappy paper on his inkjet, but I don't care because here's what it says. This gift certificate entitles you to a 30-minute hydro massage session presented to Rich Harshaw from Dr. Meyer and staff, and it had a little note on it that said, thanks for the referral. Now, how cool is that? Because, by the way, when I went in the first time, he goes, hey, do you want a free hydro massage? I'll give you one for 15 minutes while your son's getting an adjustment. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll take one. So I get it. I know what it is. It's good. It feels really good. Now he's got this machine that just sits over there and works for slave wages while he gives it away as a value added that people like. So I thought that was really brilliant. Now he has this thing that he can bribe people with and reward people with, and perhaps something like that would be useful for you. So you could say, for instance, hey, whenever you come in to get your fill, not only are you going to get your fill, we'll also give you a 15-minute hydro massage if you're on this plan. And a 15-minute hydro massage we normally charge, $20 for, so there's a $40 value per month, which brings the total value up to $160 that you're now getting for $89. I'm not telling you to run out and buy a hydro massage machine.
No,
I'm just saying it's kind of a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought my chiropractor was brilliant for having invested in one. He also has, this is very specific to him and wouldn't be applicable to you, but he also has these machines. I don't know what they're called, but you stand on it, it's round, and it has a handle on it, and it shakes you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's some sort of a therapy for your back where it shakes at different vibration levels and speeds and stuff. And he puts people on it to stand on it, before their adjustment. And I'm looking at it going, I know as well as anybody this thing's not doing jack squat. But it feels kind of cool, and it feels like I'm getting some money's worth, whatever this is. And he just has the ability to have people stand on that, and those things, are cheap. They're expensive to buy, but they're cheap to now put as many people on as he can. So I would look for things that you could do that would add value to your customers that wouldn't really cost you any extra money, like that hydro massage thing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it could be something completely different than a hydro massage, but I do like the idea of something that you can just keep adding into that. So now you say, hey, and if you buy this package, you get on our membership program, on the $199 and above packages, we also include 2 free hydro massages per month that don't count against your $199 credit or whatever it is.
Right.
I don't know if people think a hydro massage is that big of a deal or if it's cool, but here's the cool thing. The fact is I'll probably lose this card and never get this hydro massage session because I just probably won't. I know me. But I thought it was cool that it was offered even.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
Okay.
Just
I've got
food
some
for
ideas
thought.
there.
Food for thought. So that's it. Let me see if anyone else, do you have any other questions, Chase? If not, I'll see if anyone else does, and if not, we're going to be done for the day.
No, thank you, Rich.
Okay, well, thank you. By the way, I owe you an email on some things that you emailed me last weekend, so look for that in the next day or so.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Chase.
Have a great day.
And thanks to everybody else. We'll be back here on Thursday, 2 days from now, with our publicity stunts webinar. That'll be an interesting one, so we'll talk to you then. See ya. Bye now.
The organizer has